Warning: the Chaotic Culture Podcast is a program for mature audiences. The language and content presented in this podcast is of a mature nature that some audiences may not find suitable. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. We are all living in a chaotic period, and this is a creative space where that chaos and social constructs may collide. But it is up to us to embrace and celebrate the culture, but to destroy and survive the chaos. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chaos Zone. And this is the Chaotic Culture Podcast with Ked the Pro and Law. Please proceed with caution. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Of course, this is your host, Ked the Pro, along with my co-host, my boy Law. What's going on? What's going on, man?
Yes, sir. We in here.
Yes, sir. So, of course, the last time we were on here, we dropped 2 episodes at the same time, episode 7 and 8. If you haven't checked them out, please go ahead and check it out right now, especially episode 8. That's a very important episode, I feel, especially with everything going on in our community right now, especially involving Black women. Definitely take a chance to listen to that whenever you get the opportunity. So, if you're joining me for the first time, again, I can't thank you enough for joining us here. We really appreciate each and every one of you who takes the time out of their day just to listen to us and just to appreciate what we have to say, especially when it comes to our views on this culture that we're living in right now, especially during this time period with coronavirus and COVID-19. It's really been such an interesting time and such a difficult time for a lot of us. So that being said, I do appreciate each and every one of y'all out here. So I wanted to do this interview for a minute, and I'm glad I'm finally getting the chance to do that. For those who know, of course, marched in the drumline at Hampton University, sticky situation, and I have a line brother pretty much who is doing some crazy things with his music right now. And I can remember like back in the day when folks were just like, even we would be in kickbacks and whatnot, just rapping, just doing nothing but rapping, freestyling. And to see how far this man has come along with his craft from where we started to where he is now is a testament to how he values this and how much time and effort he puts into this. A lot of people don't know like this, this rap shit. Everyone can say that they can get on and, and actually rap, but like this, he can actually spit, and he actually says some real things. I'm trying to limit the cussing right now. Sorry, Mom. But at any rate, I wanted to introduce him because we've known each other for 11 years now, and we just been, he stays out of Richmond 804, and I really appreciate, friendship, brotherhood, and everything that we have, that we've accomplished together, just as individuals and as people. So, with that being said, I'm gonna introduce my boy Tyrone Leake Jr. What's going on, man?
Yo. Damn, boy, you about to make me cry. You told I said I speak some real ish.
Hey, man. Hey, just trying to be real, man. That's part of your movement, man. STR support the real. So
yes, sir.
Hey, gotta throw it out there.
That's for sure, man. Yeah, definitely thank you for having me on here. Tyrone Leake Jr. I am that guy that he so adequately put it. That I'm doing this rap thing, and I'm just trying to make something that people will love, be universal with my sound, and just put great music out. Honestly, that's the main thing here. That's the main focus. I do music and I produce music, and what I want to produce is something that everybody can listen to. No matter what you listen to outside of me or what your circumstances are, where you come from. When I come on, you love it. So that's how it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, with that, I just wanted to like kind of get in a little bit into what really made you want to actually start rapping? Like, we'll start from there, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the project that you dropped.
Okay, bird. Word. I said bird. Shout out to the birds. We out there. No, so, yeah. So honestly, that's a good question. Basically, it really kicked off after college.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked hip hop. I always liked music in general. As I was growing up, I was always like, man, I wish I could rap like that, or rap like that person, or make a dope song that I would listen to over and over, like I would listen to on a CD player or iPod or whatever. And then got to college, and like my man's KJ said, we'd be in the in the band room on the field, almost about to run on and play, and it'd be like kick the freestyle, honestly. Or we'd be at the party in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? Kick the freestyle. Shout out to Miles. Kick the beatbox, and we'll just rap. Like, we'll just rap and rap and rap. And then started trying to produce a little bit, like probably junior year, senior year. Started off bad, thanks to y'all, telling me it was trash. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd be in there like Waka, like, you or James, and be like, that's not it, bro. That's not it. It's not it. But it, it helped me to progress and continue to, try. And then after I got out of college, I was like, after freestyling and stuff like that, I'm like, a lot of people like it. Might as well, let's try to be serious about it. At least try to put out something.
Right.
Let me at least try to do something. And got with some people, put out a project. People liked it. And, it's once you get that first, like, I won't say accolade, but like people like confirm, like, oh, that's you kind of all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, all right, well, bet, let me do it again. Let me see if I can do it again. And then, so that's 2014 is when I took it serious. 2014 was when I dropped Genesis.
Yeah.
And what is now? 6 years later, 2020?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think this last project, The Best Feeling, is the best release I've done. Honestly, I've been saying that. So,
I'm about to say, it's almost like skateboarding for real.
Yeah. Or anything, yeah, like anything.
As soon as you get that ollie down, you feel me? That you like, all right, bet. Let me get to the kick flip. Then you get to the heel flip. Then you get the hard flip. Then after that, you like, all right.
Look in front of people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, now I can do this in front of people. Like, bet, like, you know what I'm saying? I did my first show, and I was like, did this show, and people were like, oh, we enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of was like, I felt like I would do it, and people were automatically like, even if it wasn't at its best at that time, people were like, I could see you doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, let's see what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's real. That's real. Before I ask the next question, of course, I just got to throw out a disclaimer here. If you guys hear an additional voice, it's my boy Stephen Capers in the background. Also part of the drum line.
The third.
yes, sir. He came all the way from Jersey, man, helping out another little sister of ours, but he decided to stop through. I asked him to come aboard and listen to us and listen to us speaking. So if you hear him say, a couple comments, that's who that is. So, Tyrone, let's actually go back a few years and let's talk about the start with Genesis, because not only like that was like your first real project, but also on top of that, you were going by a different name at the time instead of your real name. You had like an actual rap moniker. So,
correct.
Tell us a little bit about like your thoughts and your feelings when you were putting together Genesis, and then why you strayed away from that your original rap name.
Well, we're gonna go back to, what did you just say? A moniker?
Yes, moniker.
If y'all don't know,
or rap name.
I don't know. Like KJ was like that was our thesaurus. Like he's the professional. Like I don't know what he just. My eyes went up like moniker. What's that? I thought that was a coat. So what?
The monocle.
The monocle or the spectacle.
Dang. Oh man. But yeah. So Genesis. I was, like I said, that was my first attempt, or first project I put out. It was produced by DDK from Detroit. Also was in Marching Force. Shout out to him. Kenny also lives in Richmond, Virginia. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And I was going by Cosmo Black. And just it's funny because so the history, I just came up with that name out of nowhere because actually it was because of Kenny. I'm not gonna say because fully, but I was doing a show that he was putting on in Richmond. Was that at the Sky Lounge? it's like an old Richmond club, like the old heads. No, it was all, bro, I can't remember. But I remember he had hit me and said, I got you in the lineup. What's your stage name? And I was like, oh, that's one thing I didn't think about. I was like, I don't have a stage name. At that time, I was really on my hotel and my black science and all. I was like getting deep into it. Like this is like early on. And I was like, all right. I was like, well, Cosmo, let's do Cosmos, since I feel like, of course, we were connected, to the Cosmos, triple black darkness and all. It gets far, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, let me connect myself with Cosmo. And then I said black. It's really short for Cosmo Black Dot. So, this guy I was listening to this philosopher or whatever. He was talking about how like the same melanin molecule that we have in our body also is found in the outer space and triple black darkness of space and the universe and all this, that, and the third. Black dot also meaning melanin. So I just put that together and was like, all right, I'm Cosmo Black. And he was like, okay. And so I just ran with that. And people gravitated towards it. They dug it. Even as I changed my name back, just to Tyrone Leake Jr., people was like, well, we like Cosmo. We like calling you Cosmo Black. My mama like Cosmo Black, you know what I'm saying? And I think, honestly, it's cool. I still, if somebody says, yo, Cosmo, I'm still receptive to it. It's not a big issue to me. But I just wanted to come back to self and just be Tyrone Leake Jr., be myself, and then wanted to really detach from that. Like, whatever you're getting it strictly from Tyrone Leake Jr., so.
Okay. All right, cool. In between, not Cosmo, in between Genesis and in between The Best Feeling, you had like another project, if I remember, it was called From the Soul.
Yes.
Okay. So talk, I guess, a little bit more about your process of making that.
Word. From the Soul was second project I came out with. This is where I was a little more confident in my work. I was more confident in my producing. I had produced the entire thing. Because I had phases I wanted to go through. So Genesis, I wanted to just rap, display my lyrical ability. From the Soul, I wanted to express my rapping ability and my producing ability. And then the third project, which is The Best Feeling, I had wanted to write it, also produce it, and I wanted to engineer it.
Okay,
but I didn't engineer it. That's one thing I couldn't quite get. I was, I guess I could put in a little bit of laziness there. I didn't really feel like trying to go through, and like engineering is a to get what you really, really want. Like you really have to just study that and practice that. And I think I got a little overwhelmed with trying to do both producing and rapping at the same time to actually learn how to, get the engineering portion down as well. So, but From the Soul, I really liked it. I really thought I went off. It didn't really get as much attention for real. I think Genesis set the bar really high. A lot of people still listen to that and bring that mixtape up. And I don't know. I guess it was an attempt that wasn't as big, but it kind of was. I think I kind of lacked on like the marketing for it.
Okay.
And I kind of got quiet and just popped up with the album. So I just popped up with a mixtape, and it was. I'll say it was some things that were lacking on that, because I feel like with this previous album, The Best Feeling, I had a whole marketing plan up. I, had visuals and things like that leading up to it. I had, seeing me in the studio working on it. I put The Best Feeling on the tags of my production. So this is The Best Feeling. Like you already had it in your mind. Like, okay, put more effort into, getting the mix and mastered and the album art and everything. So, From the Soul, I still like a lot of tracks off of that. I had a lot of good features on that album too. But I feel like it was just, just another stepping stone to get to where I am right now.
Okay. Word, man. So I definitely appreciate you going a little bit into like the history of the projects that you've been working on, and I can see how you've transformed, like just from your performance etiquette and also just rapping in general, like. Because I remember just the times where I'm just thinking about one time where we was at this at the kickback if I'm not mistaken, it was James crib in the Harbors at the time. It was James and Theo, and the rapping in the closet. That
Semi-Pros was supposed to come out. James just hit me about that joke. Hot damn, shout out to Hot damn. He gave us like a blessing. He gave us like 20 beats. He just gave like 20 beats on the CD, and was like, y'all pick what y'all want. And I'm thinking back, like, we was boneheaded to just let that slide. It was some premium like work on that, and like I honestly, like a couple years back, I was like, damn, we gotta find that CD. I was like, oh damn, what's good with that CD? Because that joke was crazy. And me and James we loafed. I mean, we was being college kids. I'm not gonna go into We but we did that one time. And even you got off. And KJ got off. KJ got off in the closet. He got off in the closet. Like we were rapping, and he had his ready. He was like, hold on, wait a minute, bruh spitting right now, like. Bruh, spitting. Hold on, like so that was, but it's crazy. I don't know if you remember. Miles actually found that recording of all of those Johnson, sent it to me. I gotta try to find it again because it was dirty, but it was still like, dang, like we all sound young, like it was like, but that was fun. You know what? You know what's crazy? I think this is off topic. I think that was the same day Nate Dogg passed because I remember coming out the room that day. R.I.P. Nate Dogg, but I think his birthday just passed too. But
yeah, his birthday did just pass.
But yeah, Semi-Pros, man. That's maybe when I get real famous, we'll go back. We'll go back and redo that. Like,
right.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you just reminded me that. Yeah, I did. I
you did
writing it. I was like, yo, you know what? I think I'm gonna use this one time. If I can get in the studio, I can just go ahead and spit. Because from a lot of y'all who don't know, I do write and I do write poetry. So I was just like, yo, I got this one stored up, just ready to go in case something pop up. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So and I felt so accomplished. I was like, yeah, no, I know I killed that.
Nah, you did.
I killed
because we were talking. We was like, dang, like. He had to go off on it like that right now. Like, damn. That was live, man. That was dope.
Yeah, man. So in regards to like going back in the day, with the whole Semi-Pros, we know that there was like one song that y'all did actually put together that we used to play at like kickbacks and parties and whatnot, and that was Twerk Break.
Oh snap! Hey, what is this Nardwuar? This is going back. I forgot about right now. Like, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I had to point that out because like I just remember, like the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, sure. So we doing our version of where the twerk is at because I was definitely feeling that joint, and. Especially when we played it in the parties and we actually saw girls actually get up and dance to it. That's when we were like, okay,
this for real.
It's a banger.
Nah, that was like I was the first like that. Honestly, like, and I got like I said, I got to thank Hot Damn for that because I was kind of like on some like I was still kind of like nervous, kind of like not nervous, but like I wasn't ready to like be like I'm a rapper. I had this stigma like I felt like I was in college. Like I'm here to like. Be whatever I guess society said I was supposed to be.
Right.
Not even like realizing that people like Earth Gang was there.
Yep.
Like bumping Chemist, who was one of my favorites from Hampton. Actually is my favorite from Hampton. Honestly, not to just go on a tangent, but I don't know if Chemist can hear this, but that color people time, I rapped that because that's why I got that like vibe from him. Like when I was trying to figure out how I want to rap on this and I was listening to him, I was like, I want to like kind of get like him on this. Like he definitely inspired that track as far as the delivery. So shout out to Chemist out in Philly. But yeah, I was kind of like I didn't want to be a rapper and I didn't want people to know I wanted to be a rapper.
Right.
Because like in Richmond, kind of like it was still that thing like, oh, another person want to be a rapper, like another person wants to be a rapper, like.
I want to say not to cut you off. That's like the stigma in general. Like when somebody feel that their artistry is gonna further them where they trying to go, and you don't necessarily. I'm not gonna say necessarily have the backup or support. Too many times, folks just like they don't support it in a sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you will. Yeah. We got a visitor. Now this.
Oh. Hey.
Hello. This is brought to you by Hennessy and Cranberry, the perfect African American beverage.
So I was not expecting her until a little later on today, ladies and gentlemen. But we got a visitor here.
That little service we just did was live though.
So with that, Nása, for those of y'all who have listened, Nása is back in the building with us one more time.
What's poppin'?
Hey, good to see you, lady. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So
No, I'm good.
I'm Tyrone. Tom Lee Jr. They call me.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
yeah, so Nása, that's my actual LB and Sticky. He was my
She
five.
did online?
Nah, she was in the choir.
SCI.
Yeah, I see. So yeah, she hung out with a lot of us and whatnot. So
Word.
yeah,
Nice to meet you.
just going a little bit more into, I guess, your like the history of, like, because I know you said you didn't want people at Hampton like to know that you wanted to be a rapper and things like that. And then, as you pointed out before, we had Earth Gang, who was at Hampton and whatnot, and then the way that they blew up, I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
like,
that kind of threw my head back, bro. I was like, dang, like that was why. Not to cut you off, but that was Jid.
Yeah, and Jid too.
Yeah,
but I think Jid, like, he left a semester after, like, the second semester of our freshman year, if I'm not mistaken.
He was there quick.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I heard he was there for a football scholarship. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I may be wrong, but I think that's what he was.
I remember, like, I remember, like, his name. I'm like, I remember him for like one semester at Hampton.
As soon as I saw him, I said, that dude went to Hampton.
Yeah.
I mean, the main goal of it, you feel me, is when you feel like you're aligned with your calling, go on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
You get one life to live, and at the end of the day, you should live it to how you want to live, not to those around you, or because you're trying to keep people, you know what I'm saying, like, happy. Now, granted, if your decisions do affect others, do what you got to do. But, like, at the end of the day, like you said, you felt like the comments you were getting back were good, and that made you, keep grinding, keep going hard, like the pursuit of happiness. You know what I'm saying?
It's real. And I meant to piggyback what you said earlier, like, that support factor too. I feel like I wouldn't have nobody like really support that I wanted to be a rapper, honestly. Like, it took a while for me to tell my folks, and now, like, my parents, I remember showing my mom one song, she was like, "Is that you?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh." And like my father, like, even more with him, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, I definitely didn't want him to know that I really wanted to, like, really, really, really do this. And his homies started telling him, like, his homies, like, because their kids were like, "Yo, Tyrone, or they call me TL. TL can rap. Like, you should listen to it." And so, like, like, I remember my big cuz was like, he's like, "Yo, Ty, you need to listen to him. He all right." And like, now Pop really like, "Oh, okay." And when he came to one of my shows, he like, "Oh, you do this for real?" Like,
"Oh, you rap.
Yeah, you rap. Because like, he really introduced me to like a couple old school rap joints too. Like, so I can't even fake. But I remember one of the first rap albums I found was a Doggy Style album, and he had that. And my pop never heard my pop listen to rap. You know what I'm saying? But I found that album in his collection. So he put me on Houdini and all that stuff. But it's like, I think like that confidence really boosted. Now it's super boosted. I mean, of course, I know by now I want to do it, but it's like, like, I can see it like now, like, people that even I work with are like, just get your money and get up out of here. Yeah. If anybody's listening from my job, any bosses, I'm sorry, don't fire me yet. But they're like, this is not what you want to do. Like, you can tell it's not what you want to do. Like, you're entertainer, you're a rap. Like, there's people. I remember our last Christmas party. Like, people was coming to me like, "Bro, I didn't know you rap," and I was like, "You weren't supposed to." they're like, no. This is good. Like, this and the third. White folks. But they love it. But like, so. Like I said, that's what was in college, and I feel like if I had that confidence in college, like, bro, I feel like we could have been like having crazy shows and stuff like that. Because Dan told me one time to do the twerk break, he was like, "Go on stage." I did it one time in the student center. He was like, "Go on stage and, like, just performing, like, see what's up. They may like it, And like I said, yeah, them parties, like, girls be dancing to it, and I was like, I like that feeling, the best feeling, I guess. Yeah. So, like, that's the best feeling, that to be receptible to what you make. So, yeah, bro, sometimes that confidence needs to get built over time, which it has. So,
what I've also learned, through artistry is it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And when you decide to start rushing what it is that you have envisioned for yourself, is when you begin to falter.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was a little slight plug to myself. I had started working on a project, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make it this date, and I'm gonna drop it on this date. And I ain't gonna hold you. That date passed like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So like, I'm taking my time in what it is that I want to present, because at the end of the day, I want to present the best product
Mm-hmm.
that I can put out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, just taking my time. I gotta find my niche and get in where I fit in.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong.
No, you're good.
No, and like I say, and there's nothing wrong with like I said, taking that time and just building on your craft. And like, I feel like the biggest thing with like this album, that I think of course the music is great and amazing. Like I did a very good job to pat myself on the back, but like putting out those shirts early, like to support the real brand, building that support the real brand, which really like strengthen like people, like, you know, even if I don't listen to his music, I'm gonna support him. Like I had some people that was just sending money like here, and I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what that felt like. So, you know, yeah, like one of the homies from work, he moved to Arkansas. He was like, I said it before, he was like, yeah, just take this bread, send my shirt, and give one to somebody else in need. Like, just if somebody needs a shirt, like just give it to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, just also like that. And I was like, that's crazy. And then he was like, hold on, I'm gonna get that for my sister. I was like, all right, I'll send it to you. Just reneged, but all right. But yeah, so I think it just a lot of stuff. I had to work on other characteristics of what I want to be than just the music itself. So, because a lot of times it's just the brand for real.
Yeah.
That people hop on and wanted to stick with. So,
hey, that's real. Speaking of which, man, because I know I just copped a shirt here. So
next week Thursday when they get here, I'm about to call the dude today, like, and get them.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
$300. Price don't went up, baby.
That's easy, baby.
300.
Hey, charge it to my man Tyrone, man.
I got you. Payment plan. Charge you a whole version for it.
Right.
Nah, they 20, bro. I got you.
20, man.
Right.
Hey, so so shameless plug out there. They are dropping next week here. Support the real shirts. You know, be sure that you get one. We'll drop his Instagram here in just a moment. With that being said, though, I'm gonna just take a short break. We just got some bills to pay. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Some bills. I actually do got bills. Literally.
You ain't the only one.
Literally.
You are not the only one. All right, so continuing the conversation with boy Tyrone Leake, we just got a few questions that we want to ask before we get into like the actual breakdown of the album. So I know, Law, that you had a question that you wanted to pose to them.
So as an artist, how do you feel like an artist's perspective or mindset changes from being independent to signing a deal?
I kind of go back and forth with that sometimes, because I always think like, do I want to be independent or do I want to just sign to somebody? As far as changing, I think that I feel like it's not really on whether they're independent or if they sign a label. I feel like it's the influence of the people that are in both of those bubbles, I guess. Like, so, it just, like I said, it depends on who. Like, you can be independent and you have people, that you start with, and you are who you are when you started being independent, and then you start bringing other people around because you got to start making partnerships to make things move. You may have different influences that may, make you a different type of person. Same thing can happen when you sign, you know what I'm saying? When you go sign with somebody, you may have to leave those people you were working with because they only want you. And, you have those people in your ear influence you to be a certain way. So I just think it's more so on just the people that are in your circle. I know that I battle with thinking about like, what decision would I make if somebody were to hear this album tomorrow, or shit, as soon as I leave here I get a call and like it's somebody that's like, yo, we want to like offer you something, or at least bring you in and offer you something. Would I want to say, nah, I'm gonna try to get this independent money, or would I try to go sign? I feel like I could do both. I know, honestly, with me, to be 100, I don't have a team. I'm doing this by myself, even though I got people that support me. And but I don't have, like I said in another interview I did, like I don't have This person's looking up shows for me. This person's looking up merchandise for me. This person's looking up how to grab a target market. This person, like, you know what I'm saying? So I would probably need that help from a label that was saying, hey, I need help with distribution. I need help with this, that, and the third. But even though I understand the benefits of being independent. But I was always saying, like, you know, I remember Dame Dash saying, like, nothing wrong signing a deal. Just make sure that shit ain't whack. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you get a good deal, then there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you're going to sign a deal. Whether you're independent, you're going to sign a deal at some point in your independency. Like, it's going to be a partnership that you want to do. It's going to be a level you want to get to where it's like, all right, we need to sign a contract because make sure you know 360. Like, I'm well enough to know what 360s are. Like I said, I've looked at people go through a lot of BS. I was telling the lady who was twisting my hair today, excuse me, I was saying, I'm glad more so that I haven't blown up yet, that I'm older to have been able to see, you know, sadly, people trip up and fall who may have been younger and been able to be manipulated and stuff like that. Like, I'm older. I've seen some shit. I've been, like, I've just in life, you know what I'm saying? People try to mess you over and stuff like that, or take something that's yours. Like, so I understand. I can pinpoint, like, oh, that's fishy. I'm not rolling with that. I'm not young. I'm not 18, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the quick money I know is like I said, I make good money now. You know what I'm saying? I can continue working my job and be good, but I'm not, you know, you flash $100,000 in my face. I've made probably $100,000 already. You know what I'm saying? Just working, you know? So it's, you know, and that'll be gone tomorrow. If I pay my student loans off with $100,000, I'll be gone. I'll be broke tomorrow. So it's like, you know, so with $100,000. So
right.
Like, how do you? So it's just like on a mindset, like, how can I make 100,000 and flip that twofold by the end of the month?
I want to make $100,000 a day.
A
day. Like, I want to make $100,000 a day or more. Like, that's what I'm coming in the game with. Like, when I come in and get my break, I want to get around the Jay-Z's, the 2 Chainz, the, you know what I'm saying? These 2 Chainz is old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Kendricks, like these people are older, but you see that Rick Ross came in older. Like, you know what I'm saying? These older people came in and now they're going to be here for a while, even though they're old. You know what I'm saying? Quote unquote.
I figured it out. It's about finding what's going to help your longevity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's more to it than just, you know, producing album after album after album. Exactly. You got to have multiple assets and forms of income to go along with your rap, so that at the end of the day, if rap were to fall off in the next 2 hours, shit, I'm good. I got, you know, you know what I'm saying? I want to get my music on 2K. You know what I'm saying? I want to get my music on movies. I want to say, you do that right there. That's a check right there.
Like, I want to be able to, like, the beats. I got hundreds of beats. That album is 6 songs long. I have at least 50 other beats that didn't make that jump. Like, I could sell all of those for thousands of dollars. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I want to come in and I'm like, all right, I want to get wealthy. I want to get this money. Like, show me the right way. How do I get the deal that Master P got? You know what I'm saying? How did I get? And, like, the thing is, me being older, I'm more mature. Like, all right, let's not go to this party tonight. Let's sit and talk about. We could sit and crack this Henny open and talk about. Give me the game, bro. Because I'm 30. You know what I'm saying? I'm 30. I want the women, but I'm finna get married. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be out here doing too much crazy. I'm gonna enjoy the luxuries of life, but I'm trying to be living, like, and I'm trying to be able to spread the wealth I get, not just to me, but to my folks, my sister, you know what I'm saying? My kids. Like, I ain't trying to be out here with the money phone. You know what I'm saying? And then continue to make good music. You know what I'm saying?
Not trying to be funny and not trying to knock nobody's lifestyle, but after a while, it get old. Running and gunning, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just want stability.
Yeah.
You want to be able to say, all right, I did my 8 hours for the day. I'm going home, kick back, kick the beat up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like,
Still got money coming in. Even with me kicking back.
I want to be able to I want to tour, but I don't want that to be the basis of my money. A lot of artists now they're suffering because touring is done.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want that. I want to be like, all right, can't tour no more? Cool. I'm going to do these commercials. I got this endorsement. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a Mountain Dew deal.
I would say, how do you feel about
vitamin water?
Like, the rappers turned actors or turned athletes? Like,
I want to do that too.
I think that is also a great avenue to go outside of rap, because in a way, as a rapper, you are playing a role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think I was talking in another interview about it. I want to like music. I do music well, but I also wanted to act. I've done stand-up comedy like for a while, which was successful. I just stopped because I realized that I stopped doing music, and that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
Mm.
You a funny nigga.
Bro, yo, that's what. hey. The thing is like, and that's the thing. When I started rapping, niggas was looking at me like, Tyrone's rapping. This nigga not rapping. This nigga funny. Like, but then they hear it, and then like I remember my homie. I don't say his name, but it's a homie. Like nothing distant, but I was like, he was like, I remember my boy was like, you need to listen to Tyrone, bro. Like this nigga drops shit. He can rap. Like you rap. And he laughed. Like I was in the car, but he was like, this nigga ain't rapping. And he was like, no, bro, you need to listen to this nigga. He listened and was like, oh, you can rap. It's like, yeah, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I had to get past that, and that was another reason back in college. Like I was like, I thought niggas gonna take it as a joke. You know what I'm saying? When I tell, I rap, they're like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
take it seriously.
And I was like, but then taking that, like I said, I wanted to do the Jamie Foxx shit. I want to do the Jamie Foxx shit. Like Jamie Foxx can sing, act, stand up, and all of them are good. Like all of them, you can name all of his. You can name one stand up that you remember. You can name one song you remember. You can name one movie to remember. Like, you know, like I want to be able to be multifaceted. Yeah, like I have many talents, so I ain't gonna go get in the NBA. Can't ball. Yeah. I can golf. I'm lit at golf though.
No, that's something I'm
still working on my golf game too.
My club's in the trunk. I can golf, but, you know, which I love going out there with my locks and the white folks looking at me like, who is this nigga? I be out there with Jordans on and shit. And I be like, they be like, oh, all right, he can play. I'm like, yeah, fool, I'm out here. And I'm never mind.
All right, my last question. What advice would you give to young and upcoming artists in terms of guidance and how to, I guess, maneuver trying to find their artistry?
I mean, it may sound cliche, but just be original, even if it may be whack right now to people. If it's not whack to you, then keep doing that. Because honestly, it took me a while because the number one thing I hear about my work is like, this is different. Mm-hmm. But it's different, and people are happy that it's different. One of my homies, his name is Herb. Shout out to Herb. He can rap too. He rap his ass off. He does strictly gangster rap. And I mean, I like it. He talks some grimy. It's crazy. You listen to it, you're like, damn, this is gangster. But I love it. We got a song I'm working over him too. You know what I'm saying? But he told me, he said, bro, I like your music. You doing something good. He like, what's up? Which is this happy go lucky dancing song. Like he like, bro, I like that song. Like, so it's like, at one point I was like, I don't know if people gonna mess with this because it's not like what you hear on the radio. It may not be, you know, what you hear people everybody gravitates to, but you never know when you're ushering in a new sound. Like, like that's what I'm trying to do. Like when you listen to my joint, like I said, one of the biggest things with the album is everybody has a song they like everybody doesn't just gravitate to one song. Like so, you know, that was an accomplishment I wanted to have. I wanted to make sure that I had something that everybody would go to the album to listen to.
Diversity.
And there's not one song that you can listen to that be like, oh, this sounds like something I heard before or something before he's made. Honestly, like I try to make something different that I've actually made before. And I want to be able to be in the same room as gangster rappers, as singers, as, you know, dance records, like all of that. I want to be able to hop on any record and do that. So I just say, like, you know, be original, stick true to what you are. Don't be afraid, but you know, be original, but don't be afraid to push boundaries and even alter what you're doing. Yeah. Like if nobody's messing with it, try to figure out why, you know what I'm saying? And take criticism. I was saying earlier in the interview, they told me my beats was trash. Like I could have been like, F y'all, like this is hot. Mm-hmm. I kept doing what I did. But you know, I started playing with something
over in the long run.
Yeah, you mess yourself over and then you waste your time too. You know what I'm saying? Like listen to people what they're saying. You'll be able to decipher. If you listen to everybody, you don't have to do what everybody tells you to do. But if you listen to everybody, at least take it in, you'll be able to start deciphering this person's hating.
What your bubble is and where it is that you can say, your strengths and where your weaknesses are.
You figure out who are people just telling you stuff just to tell you. Some people are telling you to do something that they know sounds good, but they don't want you to do it no more. Because I've had that before too. Some people are like, that ain't gonna work, bro. And then they're the only person that said that. It's like, you like that. You like this shit. You like it, but you don't want me to keep doing this shit. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to decipher that. Just pay attention.
Support the real.
Support the real, dog. Like, just support the real. And the real is the real is what you make it. That's the thing. That's why it's all in capital letters. Like, support the real. Like, if you think this is real, support it. I ain't talking about murder. If you think murder real, like nothing like that, nothing crazy. But like real, like if this is real to you, then you support that and stick to it. Damn if nobody else is. Like, they will soon. That's why I always say it. My shit different. They don't like it. They gonna like it soon.
True.
And I want them to say, "Oh, Tyrone Leake Jr. ushered in a new wave of sound." Like, I want to be the conductor of that shit, you know. So you ain't go like that.
It's crazy you said that because I had to do a discussion board and basically give my 2 cents on what somebody else had posted.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically said something along the same lines, just like we are the next generation of what we grew up on in terms of healthcare, lawyers, you know, people that actually run America now.
Mm-hmm.
We are the upcoming generation that are going to be in these spots 10 and 20 years from now. And we got to make life function because we are that support, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's playing full circle in a sense because like you just said, you know what I'm saying? You know, be original, but also make sure that you're still meeting the goal of what it is that came before you.
Exactly. And it's like when you say that, it's funny because it's kind of like if you look in time, like there's a working generation, then there's like a generation of like arts. There's like a working generation, there's like a generation of arts. So it's like there's a generation that has to like work and get grimy and just be about building the money and the stability for the
foundation
family,
builders,
so that those kids can have the freedom to create art and shit like that and still be sustainable in life. And then like that next generation after them is the kids that's like, all right, now we got to rebuild because them motherfuckers out there smoking, getting high, and making beautiful music and shit. And now the kids now have to work. So then those kids can now make. So it's like you start seeing like that. That's what you know. I started seeing that too. Like after a while, like those changing of generations. So I think me being in between that, being 29, 30, like I feel like I can bridge the gap between like that working age and that art age.
And I think that's what's going to help bring a cohesiveness to any and all platforms. Because I feel like right now is, the younger generation feels like the older generation doesn't listen to them. Younger generation feels that the older generation doesn't feel that the younger generation is listening to what is being said. But if you realize music is the common ground for both parties. Everybody listens to music, whether you old or young.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got young babies out here that are rapping the lyrics of
but they're doing the savage TikTok. They're doing the savage TikTok.
You know what I'm saying?
They doing all that
and
shit.
Then you got old people singing WAP.
Yeah.
Like, I seen a grandma at the light playing WAP, bobbing her head, going word for word.
This is the time to bridge them both together. That's why I was like,
but that's
I want
what
to
we need. Yeah. And in terms of like us as a people, black people, we need something that's going to bring us together so that we can be a black community, not the light skinned community, the brown skinned community, the black niggas. No, legit. All of us being one entity, black folk coming together and making change. That's what's going to make the difference.
And they're trying to divide it right now. That's why you got to have something that brings together. Music is always going to bring everything together. Before anything else, music is going to bring everything together.
Yep.
Any politician, like Bob Marley, had these fools shaking hands on stage that were battling. Like, I forget their names. The two politicians, he made them shake hands on stage. Like, it's like music is going to always be the thing that ties stuff together. So,
all right, man. I definitely appreciate that.
We just rambled off the Henny, baby.
Hey. Cool. In regards to that, now, just kind of get a thought process into like how you created your this current EP or album.
Yeah. You
know, what were you going through like with each track that you made, and like how did that bring about having, of course, the best feeling?
Okay. So this album, it took 2 years to make this album. I say it took 2 years because like that beat that's playing right now. Yeah. PSA, I made that probably in 2015. I made Color People Time probably in 2015. These are old beats.
Okay.
Like, but like it was hard for me to write to my own beats. After I made From the Soul, I'm not gonna lie. Some of them I was uneasy on going back to listen to. I was like, I think I was forcing trying to put some on there. You know, I think that was a time where I really should have. I had some artists around me that I should have been producing for them.
Yeah. You felt like you was rushing your process.
Kind of, because I was getting frustrated that I couldn't really rap on them. That sample is not supposed to be on there. I pray to God they don't give me that. I didn't realize that the Earth, Wind, and Fire sample, my favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire song, just for the record, is Be Ever Wonderful, right? Mm-hmm. And I put it on the end of PSA. I cut it off because, of course, of copyright. Yeah. And when I uploaded it, I didn't realize that I put that version back on there. Right. Until I was riding, and I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, because usually DistroKid will find it. They be like, you can't do it. Yeah. But don't sue me. Anyway, so I had these beats, and I actually had like 10 to 13 other beats that were supposed to make the album that didn't make it. Mm-hmm. I wanted to take you through a roller coaster of things. I feel like the best feeling is a multitude of things, of course. So at one point I was going through a lot of like mental health stuff. I was going through a lot of like just uncertainty. And I was like, I just want to feel the best feeling. That's where the title came from. I was like, I want to feel what the best feeling is. I want to create an album that's going to free me, whatever the hell that means. And, and I just started putting it together as time went together. I slowly will write bar for bar for bar, just off experiences and things. Like the first song, For the Sake of the People, like that second half, the first half, I'm just rapping, just giving you lyrical stuff. If you listen to, you can see what's going on in my life. But then the second half was really on some like, some things that went down. I didn't go too deep, but you'll hear it and you'll get where I'm coming from. Yeah. So I wanted to get that all out. I wanted to just regurgitate everything that happened. Stuff just boom, 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 right? Fast, boom, boom, boom. And I wanted to wake people up. So, first track, boom. Like, wake up, nigga. We about to listen to something. And then switching that second half to, something more creative. Then going into the next song, Pull Up, where it's just like, all right, we need a hard banger track that sounds like Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom. And then Underlay came, where I was in a phase of like, I want to make a commercial song. You know what I'm saying? That's what I actually said. I was like, I want a commercial like song that I can like put on the radio. And I made that beat, and I was just like, I think I actually was off the Henny that night, and I was just like, underlay. I was like, I don't know where that comes. Like, just think of a word, underlay. I was like, but then as I started writing the hook, it started just coming to me, and I was like, okay, I think we got some. Now I was like, all right, let's go to something that'll slow people down. So then PSA came up. I had that beat I made a long time ago. Actually, that was written a long time ago. That was supposed to come out in like 2016. So, because it's only 2 minutes?
Yeah.
So something that was a little more cocky, slow down, kickback type vibe. You can just throw that on in the background, let it ride. Then this song, What's Up? I wanted something that can get people dancing, something that kids could listen to, something that, that really just was upbeat. Like, I like to dance. Yeah, it is what it is. I have a video plan for that, which is a school dance theme. Ooh, okay. I can get it. I need a budget for it, but I wanted something that I could play at a kid's birthday party. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because some of my homies would hit me and say, yo, my kid likes your songs. Like, when I came over with Gucci Slippers, like, my homie's like, yo, my daughter's favorite song is Gucci Slippers. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm appealing to kids. Like, that's crazy. Okay. So,
but that's what I'm talking about, the evolution of where we're at. Like, granted, it ain't nothing changed from when we was young, listening to the old heads now. Yeah. It's just, like I said, we are getting into the position now where we have a pull on where we're at in the generation, because here nowadays, we need something that everybody can tie into on some TikTok shit. Like,
bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing a video tomorrow. I don't TikTok. How old am I?
He ain't talking about.
I need a Tic Tac. Bro, that's the old. My knees started hurting when I said that shit. The Tic Tac, the bam on that damn Tic Tac. According to Kanye, Jesus talk. But yeah, like I'm gonna do a little not TikTok video, but I got planned something fun planned for that. You know what I'm saying? And then this song, I always pause when that come on. And when I heard Tupac say support the real, I lost my mind. I said, yo, he said that? That's crazy. Method Man also said it too, and I meant to put it. It was him in the ODB interview where ODB started talking that government stuff. Yeah. And Method Man's like, I told you to support the real. You ain't even supporting the real. You're supposed to support the real. And I was like, oh, I was like, that's Destiny. When I heard that interview, that's when I was like, Support the Real is my brand.
Okay.
I made Support the Real brand right there. But this song is like, I tell you, this is my favorite song. Like this song was like I cried on this song on Color People Time.
Yeah.
Like it really was something that I was in my like lowest, and it just spoke to everything that was going on. It was just a whole lot, and I still can't even like kind of like explain it. And so I just let the music speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why, take your time, young man, take your time. Like, cause it's just like, I wanted this right now. I wanted this right now. But it was like, pace yourself. Like all the time you need, bro. Like, cause I have a fear of time. Like I said in there, hypochondriac, chronometrophobia maniac. So a hypochondriac mixed with the chronometrophobia.
Yep.
Cause I'm always afraid of like health and sickness and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just being completely transparent in the song. And Lauren, Lava High, I call her by her stage name, but Lauren, you know what I'm saying, Lava High, when she started singing on it, like I literally was like in tears, like, yo, this is beautiful. This is what I wanted, like, because I wanted, like, that's why I made it the last song. When I talked about an album that will free me, like this song did that shit. You know,
it's actually one of my favorite ones.
Yo, it hits people. Like I was like, I went and just like when she first sent the rough to me, I was walking around. I walked like 2 miles, like just walking, like just with it just playing. Like I wasn't even looking where I was going. I was just walking. And so like it's that's why I made it the last time. I was like, maybe I should pick up the tempo before the album ends. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna let it end like that.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, that was like a pivotal time for me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, it's kind of like when it coming through with like the time and stuff, like the last line was, I know that any minute I could be about this bitch. Try not to think about it. I know it's infinite. So I asked the Lord, do you have a sec to hear my list? He said, here's a tip. Time don't exist, but make it quick, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Time don't exist, but make it quick. You know what I'm saying? Because I was praying so much. So I feel like, am I praying too much? Like, am I over? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, like that's God. He's fine. Say everything you need, everything you want. Be completely transparent, be completely open. And I was kind of like, am I going too fast? But I'm rapping fast because that's how my mind was going.
I feel that.
So it's, and then at the end, where like right here, it just you finally got that time of just like that's how I felt when the album was done.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could everything just slowed down, So yeah, 6 songs did it for me. Like I didn't really need to do 12, 13. I'm appealing to I'm appealing to the
You branding your
not
demographic. There you go.
Yeah, but people also like the attention span nowadays is quick, bro. It's super quick. So
Nása, did you have a quick question? You wanted to interject? Because I saw you lift your hand over there real quick, and I was just like, what's going on with that? So did you have anything that you want to interject? Okay. No. It's quite all right. It's quite all right. And we're actually gonna talk about Nása's album in just a second here as well. With that being said, we're going to make sure that we get out the brand for both of these artists here, and listening to Leake Speak, excuse me. Has,
well, it was a speech, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, but honestly, it was needed. It was.
I hope it was well interpreted. I hope it was well interpreted. We'll go back and listen and say, boy, you were talking.
But and honestly, that's what was needed, because like honestly, you hit on everything that we honestly could have asked and then some. So I definitely appreciate the transparency, and I definitely appreciate what you were feeling when you were making this project. And I hope that everybody gets a chance to listen to it. Please go out and listen to The Best Feeling, Tyrone Leake Jr. Out on all platforms. I got my joint saved on Spotify as we speak, and I listen to it like every other day, if not every day. So please, like, just go out and support the real. You can follow Tyrone Leake at Tyrone Leake Jr. _STR, which is Support the Real, on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Definitely check out the album, guys. Like I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
You're gonna like it. You're really gonna like it. I used to hate saying that because I'm like, maybe they won't. Nah, I tell everybody, you're gonna like this.
Yeah.
Just listen to it. You're gonna like it. And if you don't, then just tell me how you didn't. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever.
Right. So with that, we're gonna transition a little bit. I'm gonna get a chance to talk with Nása and her album that she just dropped. So don't move. We will be right back.
I didn't spit on the mic.
What's good, everybody? I hope you're enjoying today's episode. So before I continue on to the next segment, just hear me out really quickly. I did want to talk about a media company that I want to promote. So I have a friend down here in Atlanta who put me on to this dude. His name is Rob Madden. And of course, he has a media company called Rye Media Company. I've checked out a couple of his skits, a couple of his short films and feature films that he's doing right now in Atlanta. And can I say, dude is talented. Dude has range, and he aspires to be, of course, a great actor, which, of course, he's inspiring me to do the same. So with that, I did want you all to go and check him out. You can follow him on Instagram and Snapchat as well as on Twitter at I am Rob Madden, and Madden is spelled exactly how you would figure it would be spelled, just like the football game. So go to Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat and follow him at I am Rob Madden. You can also really find his media company on YouTube, and that's at Rye Media Company. So whenever you go to YouTube, just be sure that you look for Rye Media Company. Check out his videos. Check out all of his short films and feature films. Check out his skits. Dude is extremely talented. Also, be sure that you follow him up so that way you can purchase a shirt through his media company. Of course, he has the Rye Media Company and Rob Madden Made It shirts. Again, be sure that you check out his media company on YouTube at Rye Media Company and follow him on Instagram, Twitter, and on Snapchat at I am Rob Madden. And you can also find him on Facebook as well. Go out and support Black business, support Black artists, and continue to support Black actors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you listening to the last segment. So now we're going to transition. We're going to start a little conversation about the album that Nása just dropped called Welcome to the Station. So once again, Nása, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, as always, always appreciative of when you come through. So I kind of wanted to start the discussion a little bit because we know that you dropped the project before about Good Vibes Only, or GVGVO. So now we have dropped this new project, and me and Law got a chance to actually listen to it beforehand before you actually dropped, which dropped this past Saturday. Mm-hmm. So my question for you to start off is just how, or rather what you were feeling when you first started this project, because I know that you told us before that this one also, it took some time to make this one as well.
I think how I felt when I first started it was just real gradual. Like, It's just like thoughts would just come into my head, like, okay, welcome to the station. Like, constant thoughts would just would just come about. Mm-hmm. And so like it was, I feel like it was definitely like it definitely was a journey, like a transition to where I am now. Like, it was it's been about 10 months of actually like working on it and just like going through the flow and just going through the process and really just like the flow of emotions and like just dealing with everyday life and just putting pen to paper, really.
Okay. So talk about more so about the concept of this project, because it's called, of course, Welcome to the Station. If you look at the artwork, of course, we see a rocket ship leaving the planet. So let's talk about how it came about to be called Welcome to the Station, and what feeling that you want your audience to feel when listening to this album.
Okay, so like Welcome to the Station. As y'all know, my name is Nása, Nasa. The first A has an accent.
Of course.
For people who do not know, Yes, NASA. The first A has an accent, but it oftentimes gets misconstrued as NASA, like the actual space station.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, you know what? Forget it. Like, let's just play off of the theme. So I felt like music should take you wherever you want it to go.
Right.
And I wanted my like as a new artist, I wanted my audience to go wherever the music took them.
Okay.
So that's what I really wanted to incorporate. And not only that, like the welcome to the station is just really kind of like a ticket or like a ride into my journey from like girlhood to womanhood,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to experience the emotions that I went through. So, but I also wanted it to be really relatable, so not just you you know heard my story, but at least
Mm-hmm.
it could relate to someone else's. So
Okay. Cool. So let's talk about the actual album itself. And I guess you gave us beforehand an explanation, kind of a breakdown of the each track. So let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about Departure and just kind of go through, what you were thinking about when you made that song, and then about each track in general.
okay. Well, the first five tracks. Let's first break it down. Like the
Mm-hmm.
first five tracks, they represent Nasa.
Okay.
So the first five tracks are explaining Nasa and the sweet side of me and like
Mm-hmm.
the very vulnerable side of me. And then the from 6 to 10 it represents Tony, like representing the real assertive side and like just kind of like blunt side of me.
Okay. Real
Um,
quick, who is Tony? Let's ask that question.
Tony is my alter ego.
Okay.
Yes, Nasa. Well, okay, like how Tony really came about is just like I in college I would sometimes wear like short hair,
Mm-hmm.
and like the people I would hang out with, they'd be like, "Oh, you look like a Tony." So I was just like, "Really? Okay." Like, and so I just played off of it. So like Nasa versus Tony, it just clicked.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, you said like the first half was represents NASA, and then the second half represents Tony.
Yeah.
So, I know that you mentioned like that Tony was the more assertive, and then of course NASA was like the more sweet. So, I guess kind of give a breakdown of, I guess, the emotions of NASA versus the emotions of Tony, and what is it, two sides of the same coin, or is it just more so that you are different ideals and different aspects of who you are?
I think it's really just two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
Like you have to find. I feel like everybody has a different like has another side of them,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you have to try to find that balance between the two. So like with Departure, it was it explains is kind of just an introduction of what you're kind of be listening to, kind of like a departure of just mess, and you're just getting rid of it and just explaining that like full emotion of just like, all right, or really just more so in the questioning of yourself, like, am I just a fool,
Mm-hmm.
or is it really just insecurities that make me do what I do? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then so like when you moving on to like Mama's Prayer, and Mama's Prayer is really just like, it really is a song for the ladies. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
you know you know girls who have issues getting dealing with men or anything like that. You really just like, when all comes down to it, it's like you really do gotta find that right person that God brings to you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. Just a little note on Mama's Prayer. You can definitely feel the when you if you do listen to it, you can feel the vibe. It is definitely for me a Bill Withers vibe, because I think that's where the song kind of breaks down from Grandma's Hands. So Mama's Prayer, I think when I first heard it, I, even though I'm a young gentleman, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is the kind of vibe we're going with. Understanding the issues that you went through as like a young woman, or what young ladies go through, and especially considering that when there is a stigma out there, of course, when mothers have little girls, that sometimes when they get a certain age, they buck at different periods of their lives. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to talk about that a little more.
I mean, I think for any mother who has a daughter, of course they're gonna naturally like butt heads.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like a mother is gonna expect more from her daughter than she probably would from her sons. I mean, of course she's gonna expect a lot from her sons, but especially put a high standard on her daughter. And I felt like I had to put it in a way that for me personally, my mom only has one daughter, and that's me. So it's just like, from her perspective, what she would have told me is what I would have told my future children, or my future daughter, or somebody else's daughter. It's just like, don't be a sucker. Like somebody, like literally being a sucker to somebody who ain't got nothing to give is detrimental. It's detrimental. I promise you. Okay. And so that really just takes on that course. And then you're moving on to Love You. And Love You, it gives you that Lenny Williams feel, like, 'cause I love you. Yeah. And that's more so just kind of like, in the middle of Nása, it's just like you're still wanting that person to know, like, look, like, I still care, I'm still here, like, don't treat me this way. And I feel like I based that song, that experience, off of like my transition through college. Like, I feel like this album was really my transition from college, like after high school, like, what was Nása? How did Nása become Tony? And, the in between. So like in Love You, that was definitely I guess a feel good moment, kind of like reminiscing on like times you fell for somebody. You know what I'm saying? And you're just, I guess you're just dealing with the bullshit, but you got to remind them, like, hey. 5280 definitely represents Nása, because Nása's from Colorado. Okay, Denver, Colorado, to be exact.
Hey.
So that represents Colorado, and the area that I grew up in is 5 Points. It's considered the Black Harlem of the West. So,
all right.
Grew up in that area, and like all the places that are described in 5280 are actually, of course, real places, and basically give you a little detour in my life. A small detour in my life. And then, Nása's, then the fifth song you ended with, Nása's Interlude, which basically you can basically hear that, like, Nása's fading. Like, she's keeping it real, but at the end of the day, it's just like, all right, I'm fading. What I'm saying? So then you get from 6 to 10, and you're starting with Complications. So Complications is really that start of Tony, where she's kind of like, you're right, look. She's kind of at that point, like, all right, well, just reminiscing on like how complicated the dude may be or has been, and just basically understanding that you can't really change that person, and it is what it is. Code Red, of course, Tony is the more provocative, I guess, person. She's more provocative and more comfortable in that area.
hey, feel free to talk about it.
In that area. But nah, she's, Tony is the more sensual and the sexual type of person. She don't care.
And in the great words of our female artist, Tony's a bad bitch.
Yes. Okay. Tony's the bad bitch. Yes. Tony, Code Red is definitely a shit starter.
Yeah. First time we heard that, we were like, oh, okay.
Code Red is definitely a shit starter. And then it's a prelude to Opera House.
Opera House.
And Opera House is my favorite song. Yep.
Yes. As far as like the story behind Opera House, we'll get into that. But I definitely wanted to say how much I appreciated the song, only because of your vocal range and your vocal ability on this song. Like, for all of us in here who are musicians, it's just listening to it, I was like, oh, okay. Just something about the music and the vocals for me does it, and that's just apart from what you were talking about in the song. So I definitely just wanted to show you my appreciation for that in general. So talk a little bit more about your feelings and your emotions going through when you made Opera House and the story behind that.
I think when I was listening to Opera House, like I definitely wanted it. I had the expectation of it being like an after, I don't even know, afterlude of an after song for Code Red. Like it had to be another transition, like another part 2 to Code Red. You know what I'm saying? And so like I thought about it. I was just like, I don't know who doesn't like seeing themselves in the mirror. Like, and if we're gonna keep it a bean, if we're gonna keep it a buck as grown folks, like who hasn't fucked in the mirror? Like who hasn't had sex in the mirror or some type of like that? Like who hasn't? Let's be a bean. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean. Who hasn't?
I've been thinking about
So like
in a mirror.
I swear to God, that's them gut hours, you know what I'm saying?
Like I was thinking about like I don't know, I had to reminisce of like some gut hours. Like I had to remember
Demon
like,
time.
I had to, like
Right.
go back in my portfolio.
A nigga just put his phone down like man.
I'm like, yeah, flex.
Like,
These push-ups been working.
Right.
Hoping that she don't look up because I'm motherfucking acting a fool back here. I'm acting a fool back here. She look up, it's over.
nah, like I really had to go back into the four posts, like,
That's that
like
moment.
reminisce on like
You in
times
there,
you just like
she looked back like,
okay.
what's going on?
That worked, and just like, and not only that, like I also like, of course, being a music major, and being classically trained, I just thought it was like perfect because it was just like it's definitely metaphorical. Like that was I feel like that was the best song like I've written that I actually really enjoyed. Like from metaphor to metaphor for real.
Word.
Yeah.
So
and then you move. I think we're moving like what was next?
Q. Yeah.
Yes. Q. Q is also is another one of my favorites because my brother did it. My younger brother made the beat, so that was it was nice for that one. And I feel like for this one I definitely laid it out on the table. This was more of that song. It was just kind of like whether I said it to that person or whether I said it on paper. It seemed like saying it on paper, I got more out. You know what I'm saying? This song was kind of to the point of just like, all right, well, back to that point again. Like, well, it kind of just is what it is. So
I got a question with that, just to interject, because I have an issue with it. So you're saying like it was better to get it out on paper as far as the song aspect, right? What you say? Because I have an issue as an artist too. There's a lot of subjects I want to make a song about, but I cannot. I just can't put it in song words. I'd rather just yell it at you.
I'm about to say, but that's the difference,
so
though. Like when you can actually sit and write in a manner where it's like poetry, you get a sense of closure to the degree of, okay, I'm not putting all the emotion that I would, I guess, move forward with in the terms of in-person conversation, as opposed to I can actually put a word to the emotion that it is that I'm feeling, if that makes sense.
With me, it's like it's harder for me to sing it or rap it because I have to rhyme it, and the word I want to say may not rhyme with the last word.
But that's what I'm getting at.
When it comes down to that, I feel like when like writing things out on paper, I feel like it makes more sense because just like if you were to say to that person, would they actually hear what you're trying to say? Would they get what you're trying to say? You know, because like, you know, honestly, like yelling at a person, honestly, a lot of times it goes in one ear and out the other, so you're only getting bits and pieces. But when you're breaking it down in like metaphorical ways or just in similes or
shit with a beat behind it.
Or shit with a beat behind it.
15 different ways how you made me mad, you ate my goddamn cupcake type shit.
It makes more sense. And then that person, and literally that person is gonna be like, damn, they were really talking about me. Like, if you're putting in that aspect, like, I always try to write my music in poetry form. I don't know. I guess like reading it out that way, it makes sense. So if you like either put it in like however you write, like just make sure it makes sense to you, so that like all that you say gets out.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm not to sound like that guy, but like with my project, I didn't really write it, quote unquote. Like I would just rap it. Cause like I said, I come from a freestyle, so like I'm coming up in my mind. Not that I got on the track and started rapping the whole. Like I'll rap it, then I rap it again. I rap it again. All right, next line, rap it again, rap it again, rap it again. Next line, rap it again. Then I may have 4 bars that may sit for a month. Then I come back the next month and I have the rest of the song. It's weird how
that's exactly how my process goes.
I can't write it in.
That's exactly how my process goes because I am not for each song. I did not just sit and just write the entire song. I think for probably Opera House, that was the only one that I really did sit down and was just like, all right, bet I'm getting this done. But each song that like I would think of a melody, didn't really write it down yet, but just like, all right,
get it in your head,
get it in my head, and then like build off of it from there. And then sometimes if I couldn't think of anything like else, of course I'm gonna put it to the side. That's the best thing that you do. That's the best thing that you can do. Because like you don't want to rush lyrics, you don't want to rush your art. And you might be surprised, like once you go back through it, like, okay, something else might come up.
Yeah. So word. That's like I know Jay-Z be doing that stuff too. He don't write it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jay-Z will go into the booth, he'll hit the beat, he'll go into the booth and he'll have like 2 bars. Like he made Dirt Off Your Shoulders. He was like, yeah, the ladies, they love me. You
just get the delivery.
Then he finished the verse and then he comes back and finishes the song. And Dirt Off Your Shoulders is one of his biggest songs he ever made.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's all about the creative process.
Yeah, and everybody's creative process is different. And, you know, some people need to like sit down and actually put pen to paper, and some people just don't. And then there's those who need to do both.
That's what I say, because like I envy Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like a good majority of his music, even if it was written, like it was off the dome. You know what I'm saying? Like he was able to go in the booth and he just had multiple takes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, just punching it, yeah. And then you have the last song, Arrival. I'm not gonna hold you. I really do love all the tracks on the project because I really feel like all of them are really, really quality. The ending, it's the ending for me on Arrival. It's the ending for me on Arrival because I feel like I went to this church. I went to church on that one.
Okay.
But no, Arrival is really just about like coming to that final conclusion of how to find that balance between, you know, Nása and Tony. Like it's really that connection. Like I made my Arrival. It's
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like from my perspective, Arrival was more so of, all right, this is who I am moving into womanhood, if that makes sense. From what you told me, the whole album in itself was more so, you know, learning from your insecurities and then turning around and, you know, you find yourself, and as a woman, you know what I'm saying, you can make the changes and what it means to be a woman.
Yeah.
And then I guess, like I said, the last song is more so like, look, you know what I'm saying, I'm ready to boss up. This is where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm at my Arrival, like, and I feel like it's perfect because like I can really feel as I've written every song the transition that went along with it. It was just, I feel like each song really had like a phase of its own.
Okay.
In order to like write it, just really all of it had a phase of its own.
Excellent. I definitely appreciate you breaking down the album in your terms and pretty much explaining, you know, how we should be able to listen to it and the process of you actually making this album. It all goes back down to creative artistry for both of these artists that we have here today, and also to just take your time, because clearly, as Leake said, it took him about 2 years to make this project, but then he's using beats from way back in 2015, 2016. And then as you were going through this process, it took you as within the span of 10 months to come up with this. Don't rush your projects. Don't rush your creative ideas. It's always important to just take your time, because clearly when I listen to these projects, I'm like, wow, like they put so much time and effort into it to create. In my view, these are like almost like masterpieces for these two artists, and hopefully this will put them on the trajectory to become bigger than what they are now. So for those of you out there who have an art, have a talent, take your time. It took me a few months after planning for years to put this podcast together, but I wanted to be sure that I did this right. And
you gotta trust the process.
yeah, it's all about just
gotta trust the process.
Exactly, just trusting the process and putting your faith in God, knowing that He's going to steer you in the right direction, and making sure that you stay on that path.
It's funny though that like you say that, because like listening to both projects, both have timeliness, even if the fact that like it was a time ago that the idea was thought. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you can recollect on your experiences and put them forth to make a project that to this day serves and holds prominence is mind blowing for me, which also just gives me more fire to keep pushing.
Yeah, and lastly for me, I know with my jump, like you never know when it's right on time. Like I think like a lot of stuff that I do, not to be big headed, I think some stuff I do may be ahead of my time or maybe ahead of its time. You know what I'm saying? It may not be a time for it to be projected into where it was currently made in, the time it's currently made in. Like I know releasing this project, a lot of my homies are people that I talked to on a regular before, and like, yo, you inspired me to start working. You inspired me to like, let me go ahead and get this shit done. Like, let me start doing what I want to do and putting forth the effort right now. Something like the songs I dropped right now may not have resonated back in 2015, 2016. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may have resonated now when people are at their house, sitting here, like, trying to figure out what I'm about to do. Like, so, like, you just never know when the timing is right. And, also, I think, like, where I want to be, I want to blow up tomorrow. Like, ask yourself, if you were to blow up tomorrow, or if your dreams were to come true tomorrow, would you be able to handle that?
Nope.
Because even though it sounds good today to blow up, like it comes with the price too. And I know for me, when I said I was going through all of this mental stuff and all like that back in 2015, 2016, even today too, if I had caught fame at that same time,
you probably would.
Fame isn't all good. Like, so money isn't all good. So you never know, like, the things you want right now, you may not be able to receive that blessing at that present time. So, I'd rather wait till I'm able to enjoy it. Whether it comes with good and bad, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to enjoy it and embrace it during that time, whether it's today, tomorrow, or 5-6 years from now.
That's a whole family, bro.
Straight up.
Whole family.
So, real quick, before we go into the final segment of our episode here, just wanted to kind of get an idea of who created like the artwork for you guys' albums, because again, it's the rocket ship leaving the planet for NASA, and then we got the mountains of Tyrone's faces for his body of work. So what inspired you to create that artwork, and then who created it for you?
So I was actually just like browsing through the internet because I really wanted something that represented something taken off, like represented, of course, represented the idea of being welcome to the station. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking up some like rocket ship art. If there were any rocket artwork out there, and I found one. And the picture that I have for my cover art is a image by an artist named Peter Thorpe.
Okay.
Yeah. Now this has already been in an already like licensed pictures. He's been doing art for a while, like since like 1976. But like since it was like issued through like a publishing company, that I had to purchase it.
Okay.
But yes, Peter Thorpe is the one that created the image. So
Awesome. Leak.
For me, my album, I went on Fiverr. The app Fiverr. I'm looking up right now to find the guy's name. I want to give him proper credit. But however, while I'm looking that up, I remember talking to Emily, of course, the Mo, Emily Sankofa out there in California, originally, from Atlanta. I go to her for a lot of, just critiques and things like that. So I love her for it. Shout out to her. Definitely an artist to check out as well. And she basically was telling me, like, you got good music. You need to have something that is going to draw the person in before they even hear your music, because artwork will determine whether they're going to click play or not. And that really stuck with me. And I used to just make it by myself, but I had an idea where my homie Marcus Price, very skillful artist. He's an art teacher. I think he's out in Delaware right now. We grew up together. And he was doing this stipling. I think it's called stipling, but with the dots. He was doing these artist portraits, and he was putting my music behind it. And I said, you do one of mine for my album art. And this was, again, like 2 years ago, And he said, just send me a couple pictures. So I sent him 3 pictures of faces that I thought would be the best feeling faces, and he made them. And even when he made them, I didn't have any direction what I was going to do for him. But, like I said, I waited that time out. And early this year, I got with some of my homies, and it was like, maybe it should be like in the clouds or something like that, and got together, put it to Fiverr, and I found a guy on there. I can't find his name. I'm sorry, but he took it, put the vision there. We worked together, and boom, we had it. People dug it, and there we go.
Hey, appreciate that. So real quick, we're going to be right back. We're going to wrap up this interview really quickly, so don't move. We'll be right back.
Around the corner, I know that.
All right, so real quick, it's probably not going to be real quick, but to end this entire episode, it would be remiss if we did not talk about the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez situation. It's really probably one of the biggest things out, especially within our culture right now. There are other things that we could talk about. We could talk about how Talib Kweli is pretty much being a creep, a stalker, and harassing other people. We could talk about that, but we could say that for another episode, and we could talk about all the things going wrong within our community. But the main thing that we wanted to touch points on is this Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez situation, and just how, in fact, Black women are treated in our community, how they should be treated, and unfortunately, what it results into. So, of course, the first thing that when this incident happened for me, I kind of figured if Tory's the only one with a gun, and she just explained that she just got shot, I'm thinking, okay, did Tory shoot her, or did the police shoot her? Or did somebody grab Tory's gun and shoot her? What the heck is going on? Why did Megan get shot? That was my question at the start. Like, what led to this happening? Now, of course, with all the details coming out and Megan finally like getting the I won't say the courage, but she finally had to speak up because she said that people were relying on her name and were making up stuff when these people weren't even in the situation or in the, during that time, that they weren't there pretty much. So with everybody spreading out lies and whatnot, and then her having to come out to actually explain her business, one, that's striking to me, because it's like, well, hold on a minute. She was trying to do her best to keep this under wraps. She didn't want this getting out. She didn't want the media to blow up on this. But when people keep like slandering your name and whatnot, and calling you a liar, and then calling you all this, that, and the third, at some point or another, she was forced to speak up, which it wasn't really any of our business to start. But I guess, it had to be said because of the situation and the way that it happened. So open discussion, if anybody else wants to comment, because we can literally go into how, she explained that Tory was the one who actually shot her in the foot.
To it. So straight up, off rip, when we all know, like, Tory, bro, you're a lame nigga.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I'm not going to. I never really liked Tory Lanez like that for. It's only in quarantine radio he started getting my. He was starting to get me. I was like, quarantine radio, you getting me, boy. I like quarantine. I was banging with him. Quarantine. I was banging with him. I can't lie. I never really liked him before that, but then quarantine I was banging with him. But then this situation is like I said, yep. Like it wasn't nothing that I was like surprised from because I was like, he seemed like one of them type of dudes. But just in a situation sense, it's like I said, you shouldn't ever pull any weapon on a woman at all. Like we're trying to start telling like a lot of our men and like a lot of the homies, like you get like if the argument is extra, bro, just leave. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I'd rather you tell her, get out the car. I'm like, I'm gonna leave you on the side of the road and drive off. If it's to that point where it's like, if she's being crazy, if that's what the situation was, that she was so crazy, if you want to say like, oh, she was beating on him, this and the third, security, restrain her, what I'm paying you for, and you gonna get an Uber and we're gonna drive off.
I'm sorry to be weak, but ain't dude like 5'4"?
If that's because that's I mean if that's what they were trying to say, where it's like he was getting beat. Like if you were getting beat so bad, like this and the third, I'm just trying to give you a leap to that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like bro, like what do you like? I said, you got security. What you pulling guns for? Like this and the third. It's just like. And it's like I constantly, this what blows me. It's like we keep having these male representations that's blowing it for real niggas out here.
Yes.
Like, I'm a real nigga. KJ, I know you're a real nigga.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't been around you enough to know you're a real nigga, but I respect you from where I give you a level of respect right now.
Hey,
I know the people that you've been surrounded around
Yes.
to be able to be like, do this, don't do that, nigga.
Right.
Excuse me for saying the N-word so much. I was raised different.
But
It's like, I'm just like, you're blowing it for us who are trying to do better and show more for the men that are actually protecting black women, standing up for black women, and trying to live right by black women because they are the people of this earth that is going to continue this earth. Like,
is it safe to say to live outside of the stereotype of what it means to be a black male?
I think the stereotype. I hate the word stereotype, but it's like I think we've lost what it is to be a black male. Honestly, like we're trying to figure out what it is. Women are saying what a black male is. Men are saying what a black male. Like I feel like it's a whole bunch of confusion. But at the same time, I don't think it's one definitive answer. But at the end of the day, I mean, of course, protect her and just it. It's so simple.
I think what people take on as far as like when it comes down to black males, which I think y'all need to understand is like when people are saying different stuff of what a black male is, y'all need to understand that y'all are everything that consists of that. Like you guys are strong, you guys are more powerful than y'all think. Like I think that society has just put a barrier on a barrier for black men to be a certain type of stigma.
Right.
When y'all are more and above that. Okay. So like this is like a really, for me as a black woman, I feel for Megan because like really as a black woman, we are unprotected. No matter how hard we try, no matter what we do, it's just like damned if you do, damned if you don't, no matter what it is. And we've been here since the beginning. Like we've been here since the beginning. So I feel like what Tory Lanez did, it was definitely a bitch move because it's like no matter how hard the whatever the argument was, if you were too insecure to accept the truth of what was being said, at any point in time, a trigger should have never been drawn.
Right.
Take it like a G and be about your
Because if you was winning the argument, then you wouldn't have to pull a gun.
Exactly.
So obviously your ass was getting beat.
Okay. Something kind of
striking your nerve,
something hit a nerve.
Because I'm winning an argument, I'm chilling. I like, bro, you say something. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's crazy.
If you know that you're gonna lose, if you know you're gonna lose an argument, or if the person that you're arguing with is walking away, end it. Drop it.
I thought about this on the way here too. Like I was thinking, like one thing that I also think, just from a black male standpoint, I don't think a lot of men were really bred and trained to like protect women other than the women they know. So I think that's one thing I give just as like a black male. Like I think, we were taught protect your mother.
Yeah.
Protect your sister. Protect your cousins. You know what I'm saying? Auntie, all the women in your family. But then when it comes to like, I don't know that girl. I don't know what the situation is. She may have did some crazy shit that I don't even know what happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think that's the one thing where it's like, because there's been dudes that lost their life protecting black women. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and there's been instances where they lost their life and the whole situation was on some messed up stuff that the girl did. So I think like I've seen it happen before. Not saying that that's all women, not to generalize, but I think that is a trauma in itself. Just to kind of like, I think for that as well, where it's like I'm afraid. I'm afraid how this may go. If I stick my neck out, even though it's the right thing to do, I may lose my life, and it may not even be. It may be in vain. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like I want to kind of like gauge like a lot of like my male counterparts, like how many of y'all were raised to protect black women outside of the ones you know? The biggest thing was
that's what I was just about to say.
The biggest thing was like protect black women that you don't know. Like that's
no matter.
Like, we gotta learn that now.
Like granted, despite what the situation may have been, if you in public and you see a man raise his hand to a woman, you don't got to step in because at the end of the day, that's not your business to be in. But to a degree, just the fact of don't put your hands on a woman. Like that's ground basis for I think any male's upbringing. Yeah. Whether you were raised by a woman, whether you were raised by a male, whether you were raised by two parents, one parent.
That's
period.
GP. That's GP.
As a man, you know that your physical strength is superior to a woman's. And now, granted, with that being said, some women precisely some women are bred to have hands and to protect themselves. But as a male, you don't raise your hand to no woman. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be your bread and butter, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like you take care of her, she take care of you. Yeah. Don't raise your hand. Yeah.
There's no raising no gun. It's like I just
ask pussy. This is ridiculous.
I'm just like my nigga.
I feel like maybe I don't know. Like, did he raise that gun to feel like he was some authority? Like
he's 5'4".
But this is 6'8". It's 5'8". Like, stop playing. Like,
yeah, I'm not justifying it, but like,
here's a motherfucker.
He probably was scared, and I mean, at the same time, Megan had a friend in the car with him. I don't know. I've heard the stories. You know what I'm saying? He probably felt outnumbered.
No,
he was his boy. Like security.
He had his security.
Yeah. Okay, so like, there's really no justifying.
There's no justification on that.
On that actual subject, I think at the end of the day, it's. I need to hear more. I just need to hear more. I know one thing. I know Meg's the victim. I know she was the one that was the only person that injured, and I know she came out and said her side. She's the only person that's talked.
But I feel like at the point, like where the story stands, there is not going to be no. Okay, there was A story, there was B story, and that's how we culminated with C. It's going to be Megan tells her story. Tory has not yet broken his silence.
I think he won't either.
And
he's
that's
not gonna break.
For
how I see.
From my perspective, I think that's smart. Not saying that he's smart and not talking about his side of the story, but I think for
I feel like
the public, he needs to let people know, okay, this is what happened, so that they can piece together.
But it don't matter
how it happened. Regardless of the matter, he's still wrong for shooting her. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think that one, he needs to apologize. And even though the apology isn't gonna make a difference, it just needs to be there. You know what I'm saying? And then two, he needs to, I guess, set the record straight for how I guess those two stories transpired. Because right now it's just Tory shot Megan.
That's it.
And that's it.
I mean, but we all had speculations of it. It really just kind of like, and then it seems like Megan officially kind of confirmed it. Like, yeah, bitch, you shot me in the foot.
But also,
you shot me in the foot.
Do you think that it was also a ploy at trying to gain publicity?
My thing is like, I feel like what people need to stop doing is trying to put the fact that they are a celebrity and the fact that they have personal trauma and expecting it and equating it to clout and pushing something. Yes, great. Now let's just be clear. Now Megan just dropped something with Cardi B. They're celebrating. Now understand that was probably already done before the situation happened.
Yeah.
So when somebody goes through physical trauma, stop looking at it as she's just posting this for clout. She's just posting this for views, for anything like that. Maybe it was actually because she had a personal, like an actual trauma. And let's set the shit straight. Okay.
I will say this. This is what I told my boy, and people may not like what I'm gonna say. It's not really crazy, but I was saying, I don't put anything past anybody. I wish Megan didn't speak at all, because at the end of the day, like, so Joe Biden said this. I just say this because he was like, she's getting shot, she's leaving, right? It was like, if you have a case, a lawyer can say you were fleeing the scene. You didn't see who shot you. That's legal. That's legal shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, be quiet. Like, be quiet. I don't care what motherfuckers say. You shot yourself. Shut up. Like, because it's at the end of the day, we need him in jail. If he did this, if he did, we need him in jail. We don't need some lawyer that knows how to work this thing to say, oh, well, you said you were leaving the scene, right? Okay. Well, how did you see who shot you if your head was turning this way and the person that shot you was from this way? Because lawyers, I've been in the system. Yeah. I know how lawyers work this shit. Like, it doesn't matter if Tory shot him and Tory said, I shot her, but I need to make this work. It's like, you need to be quiet so that we can work this out legally. And at the end of the day,
it was already supposed to be on the hush. It was already supposed to be on the hush.
But with that also, but I need people to. I also like. I don't care if you're black, white, my family. If you shot me, nigga, I'm not protecting you.
But you see
you
how
don't care about my life. You don't care about my life.
So I'm not going to care about your life. Turn into, okay, they were just doing it for publicity. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that was the case. And not saying that maybe isn't. Maybe that is the case. Wait, maybe that's not the case, but maybe that is the case. But regardless of the fact, one, I don't want to gain publicity off of having gotten shot.
I'm not trying to gain publicity.
I'm not trying to, bring somebody else down because of decisions that were made in lieu of, me getting shot. But when you really break it down, you know what I'm saying? One party got shot, one party was a shooter. Yeah. You just have to take it into light of, all right, at the end of the day, we are both artists. We didn't mean for, I guess, this to take the light that it did take. But at the end of the day, let's still not say flip it for positivity, because nobody should gain positivity from getting shot. Except for 50 Cent. 50 Cent.
I'm just saying
he can do some shit.
My big thing is
but
this.
I'm not going, pull no gun on no woman. I'm not going to shoot her because of whatever happened between the two parties.
I'm saying this. What does Tory owe fucking man? Like, this why I want black women and even black men, like, yo, stop protecting these motherfuckers. Like, I'm sorry, excuse my language, but I'm saying, stop protecting. I know you say you want to protect, you got a gun in the car, this, that, and the third. No, I was just shot by this nigga. Take him. Like,
right.
Stop protecting. Like, I was doing this to protect him, and this person shot you in the foot, and it may have been
who hadn't been shot before. I'm pretty sure she was in a state of shock.
Like, I get it. No, I understand it. But my first thing is not thinking I've been shot. I'm in shock, but I'm gonna protect this dude. Like, if we arguing and I get away and you shoot me just because you're a black man, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna protect him just because he shot me, but he a black man and cops are killing black men. No, nigga, you almost tried to. You may have been trying to take my life. You may have been trying to take my life. So I'm not sitting here trying to protect you when you weren't trying to protect me. You were trying to end me just now, or hurt me, or like you said, what if it wasn't her foot? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you got shot in the chest? Am I still gonna protect you now? If I got shot in the back, I'm still trying to protect you now. So I'm just saying, like, just for like. Because this is where it comes to. I know women who've been in an abusive relationship. I just want to we gotta stop that. That person is a piece of shit.
I feel like I will agree with that. Like, we need to stop when it's wrong, it's
Wrong.
wrong. Like, when
It's
it's wrong,
wrong.
it's wrong. Like
It's wrong.
there's
But I
no
understand what you're
sense
saying. You're in a shock. You kind of don't know.
You kind of like. I feel like
You still think of it
You're
from the safe haven aspect. All
You're
right,
still-
this person is still in my corner, regardless of the fact that okay, you just shot me. Like you still are somebody who it cares for me, and you care for my brand and care for where I'm
Do
at
you
as
really
a
care
person.
for me?
Yeah.
But
But
that's
do you
where
really
it turns
care?
to. You feel me? Like nobody, KJ, if you care for me, bro, I don't think you would shoot me.
I don't think you will even raise a gun
Now,
to me.
Gun, no, not at all.
now, if it was in a situation where it was like, all right, shoot Lawrence or shoot Law, and we'll let bygones be bygones. That's different. And then if you gotta come and explain to me the circumstances behind what happened. That's different. But you just be like, bah! I'm like,
Yeah, for no reason at all. Like I'm not gonna sit here like y'all said. I ain't gonna raise a weapon to any people who I think are in my corner or I know who are in my corner.
Whether it's a woman or a
man. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like
to you, if I respect and I love you and I want the best for you. If I raise a gun to you, you better call the cops on me.
Yeah.
But
you better call the cops.
It's not until we understand the difference between that we will see change in the police carrying out how they carry out their business. It's different, but it's not different because at the end of the day, the same way that they can go and peacefully arrest somebody who is white and has ran over 2-3 people, is the same way that you can arrest somebody who may or may not have used a counterfeit check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's one and the same. Like the same way that they go and they peacefully arrest these people that have done heinous crimes, but they skin color differs from what we have, is the same way that you can go and not arrest people that wilding.
I get you saying, like, especially because like the way that police have treated black people in general, just for petty stuff or stuff that didn't even warrant the kind of brutality that we suffered. And meanwhile, you got these white folks out here who are, like you said, completing and doing heinous crimes, and then they're getting peacefully arrested and whatnot. That I definitely understand where you come from. The only problem with this is just that for me, and I've been listening to what everybody's saying. I agree with everything that everyone has said here. It's just that, as you said, like the only time I'm ever going to pull a gun on you is if you're trying to harm me or kill me, and it's like I have to protect myself.
We're enemies at this point.
Yeah. At that point, it's like, okay, you're trying to take my life. No, I'm trying to survive at this point. What Tory did, that is not.
It's not.
Yeah, that's not like.
I am an enemy of you. Like I damn near hate you. Like you pulling a gun on me, like. Straight up, like I've seen it. We see we see people getting killed on Facebook all the time. Motherfuckers raising guns.
It really
they're raising guns.
It really is not that. It's like at any point in time, like he needed to realize, like, all right, like keep in mind, look at the times that we're in. Like we're in a pandemic. We're going through a phase of systematic racism and trying to fix that shit and pulling a trigger, especially on a black female, on top of that cops are already on go.
Yeah.
On go.
Not only did you raise the gun, you pulled the trigger.
Not only did you raise the gun, but you pulled the trigger. So just think about that. Like if the cops were to find out that not one, that there's 4 black people in a car, 2, that there was a gun in the car, somebody's getting shot that night. If any type of no compliance was done, like somebody was going to get capped that night. So like, I agree that like I understand that the fact that she did get shot and the fact that she saved him at the same time is kind of contradicting, because it's just like, did you
that was her grace in a degree.
That was I feel like, but that was her grace in that, because she didn't have to spare this fucking nigga. She didn't have to. And I understand that she was trying to keep this out of the blogs, but if she's trying to keep this out of the blogs, but his publicist is trying to keep it in the blogs, what do you expect? Like,
that's when you then flip the script.
Then you flip the script and tell what the fuck really happened. Like that's when you get to that point.
And just one more comment here. Also, in regards to this situation, I've seen a lot of Twitter posts from, unfortunately, from black men and even some black women who want to call Meg a snitch for this. Let's get one thing straight.
It's not
One,
snitching.
We need to stop with
Yeah.
this whole
If-
snitching shit.
I'm about to go to the bathroom on that.
yeah,
don't
If
have to stop
Meg
with this
would have
whole
lost her
snitching shit.
life and her friend that was in the car knew that Tori was the one who pulled the trigger, and then she came forward and made a statement, that's snitching. Granted, it's snitching for the fact that you want justice for your friend. But in the sense of, you know, being a snitch, snitching isn't.
We really
I'm gonna
need
be quiet on that one.
If you ain't in that
It's
culture,
Like,
it's a negative connotation that is dealt with in the black community for a long time, and unfortunately has
It's just
shaped
like,
the way that we have viewed, you know, how to
handle
handle things and interact with law enforcement, especially when it's one of our own, you know, because that's how, a recent example, that's how C Murder got caught up, because he didn't want to snitch on his friend. And unfortunately, you know, I can understand if, you know, if you've witnessed a crime that had none of you, that was not your business and whatnot, but you went and told, okay, I get the snitching aspect of that. But that being said, still, if someone is coming for your life and whatnot, and
it's threatening your life.
yeah, and I'm like, at this point, you're no longer my friend, because like you literally just tried to take me, and now like take me down. As we just said before, you're not my enemy. I don't care at that point. Like,
what
no,
part of loyalty should I give to you if you trying to end my life?
exactly.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry to say, damn the snitching. You try to take mine. You try to take mine, and I'm supposed to spare yours. You weren't trying to spare mine. You weren't trying to spare mine at that second.
No.
So I'm supposed to spare yours at that minute. I'm supposed to spare yours after you tried to basically end mine.
Exactly.
So fuck out of here with all this, like, oh, she's snitching and shit. Okay, what she did was tell her fucking truth, because nobody gives a fuck when a black woman tells her truth. It's always she's nagging, she's aggressive, she's this, that, she's that, third. Okay, so when an actual woman is actually telling you, let's keep it straight. Let's keep it a whole band. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't lie on my name. It's she's snitching, she dry snitching. Stop taking up for niggas who ain't doing shit, who do the bad shit. Like, stop taking up for shit for that. Like, that's so bad.
Yeah, I couldn't believe like so many people who were booting for Tory. I'm like, what did Tory do for y'all to take up this man like that? Like, exactly. Like, yo,
Quarantine.
That makes no sense to me, especially considering all the things that black women have gone through and are still going through to this day when it comes to stuff like this. You know, we talk about this all the time about domestic violence issues. This is clearly domestic violence, and here y'all want to go and rag about snitching. First off, Meg is not a street person. Two, again, this is an issue of domestic violence, especially if the rumors are true that they were actually talking and dating, and he went and he just pretty much showed his true colors to her and could have almost taken her life. At this point, there's no loyalty in that.
Man, that's some new shit, bro. These new kids out here thinking they know what the street is. Bro.
Yeah.
Shit, bro. I got niggas that have been killed, and they still don't know the killer. And I wish I would know who the fuck that is. I wish I would dead ass be like, he killed that nigga. He killed my homie, like straight up.
Yeah.
Like, and I would out of the graces of my heart, I would tell the police first. Because if I told somebody else, it'd be a different story.
It's already
Right.
escalated.
It's a different story.
It's already escalated. It wouldn't be no questions asked.
Like, bet, thank you, and that would be it.
Yep.
And that would be it. So it's like, it's, you know, it's just like like that's just them new kids out here trying to play that game. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna get, and it sucks because they're gonna get a lot of people hurt. And a lot of people hurt because like you out here playing that, you mess around and take the wrong person out here, and their cousin or their boy gonna be not about that, not care nothing about anything, and take the next person.
Because we forget that like, there is a different breed of folk out here who are TTG. Yeah. It's literally the word.
It's
and go. It's not no questions asked. 1 + 1 2. All right, we out.
That's real. So
I hope it legally gets solved. I hope because at the end of the day we don't know the full story. I hope the full story. I don't need to know the full story. I hope the full story comes to light to where it needs to come to light. I hope whoever was involved gets the punishment they deserve, and the victims are taken care of to the umpteenth time of what they need to be taken care of. I love Meg. I hope she, She's a strong woman. She continue on to do what she does. She's a good example for Black women everywhere. Tori is not a good example of Black men for everywhere. I hope that this battle of the sexes that we are currently going through can just be diminished, because there's a lot of shit is put out there to divide us, and I hate that, because me as being raised by a strong Black man, surrounded by strong Black women, I don't want to see every day that Black men ain't doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Black women ain't doing what they're supposed to do. We are all doing what we're supposed to do. It's a few bad apples. Like, it's a few bad apples. The majority is doing what they're supposed to do. So people out there, don't think, and don't let this media think that people ain't out doing the good work. It's a few F boys out here that ain't doing their work, and there's a few F girls out here that ain't doing their work. Don't let that generalize everybody, please.
I do want to say this, like, when you have celebrities like Keke Palmer and Megan Thee Stallion saying like Black women are really not protected. What they're really like, people are probably gonna overanalyze it and stuff like that, but it's just like, look, protect us because we are your equal.
Yeah.
And we have had we are your equal, and we have had your back since the beginning. So it's just like, defend us and protect us like we have always defended and protected you. Just because we call you out on your shit doesn't mean I'm against you.
Right.
It means I want you to be better.
Exactly.
So that shouldn't be construed or taken as I'm nagging or I'm aggressive or I'm just angry. No, I want you to be fair to me. That's what I want you as a Black man, as a Black woman, being your equal, to be fair to me, because I've been fair to you.
Got it. Respect. So I appreciate that, guys. I definitely appreciate the conversation here, especially in regards to that. Just give me 2 seconds here. Just got to make quite a couple of adjustments here. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and sign off. So before we do, just wanted to be sure if anybody here wanted to do a shameless plug for another Black-owned business, this now's the time to go ahead and do that.
Ladies first?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Okay.
She told me. She said, ladies first, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ladies first. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Twitter @_call me Nása. That is call me Nása, NASA. Remember, it's the first A that has an accent on it. And if you don't know, now you know. Follow me. 10-4.
Also, go listen to her project, again, that just dropped today, well, Saturday. Welcome to the Station. Please be sure that you go ahead and check that out on all streaming platforms. All right, Leake.
Hey. Boy, we off the Henny. I was like, I'm going to be transparent today. So I didn't know I was a Black-owned business until my cousin said, you are the Black-owned business. So Tyrone Leake Jr., Support the Real is the brand. You can find me at Instagram on Tyrone Leake Jr. That's TYRONELEAKEJR_STR on Instagram. And my Twitter is Tyrone Leake Jr. Just like that, at Tyrone Leake Jr. I got shirts that go out with Support the Real. Face masks for Support the Real. I got a second series of shirts that's coming out in the next coming weeks. So if you follow me, you'll be in tune. You'll be abreast of what's going on. And if you search that name on any platform that you listen to music to, you will find me there. So thanks for listening.
Where Law, you got any plugs?
I'm gonna plug myself. I'm gonna speak it to existence. You can follow me on Instagram at L.JR_96. You can follow me on Twitter at Law96_. And I will have my music page coming up here in the next couple months. Be in tune for that. And also, shout out to Fresh Nerds, Rich Minds, my brother Timo and Brennan. They doing their thing right now in terms of, coming into this clothing industry.
Word. All right. So to sign off here, just be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast here, wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast here. Also, just be sure that you follow the Facebook page at Chaotic Culture Podcast on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram at Chaotic Culture Pod. And again, that's Chaotic Culture with 2 Ks in case you ain't know. Also, just be sure that you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ked the Pro. That's K3D the Pro. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to message me. If you have any additional topics that you want us to discuss here on the podcast, please be sure that you message me either on Instagram, Twitter, or on Facebook. I will happily respond to you. And once again, if you are a Black-owned business out there, just know that if you want us to plug you in, be sure that you contact me so that way we can go ahead and plug you into this podcast as well. So that way we can get your name out. Support Black businesses, support Black artists. Always remember that Black Lives Matter and all Black Lives Matter. And just remember, guys, we are still in the middle of a pandemic, so please, please, please be safe.
Also, shout out my man's RJ Stackhouse. Self-harm. It's self-harm is out on all streaming platforms. Go and support.
And he live in Richmond.
Yes.
Also heads up, I got some more music coming.
Uh-oh.
Back to back
to you real quick.
I got some more music coming, and it will be coming. Just stay tuned. Okay?
Gotcha.
I'm doing some work with RJ Stackhouse, and I'm also doing work with Zay Blaze.
Zay Blaze.
So,
all right.
Oh, can't forget the brother Michael Quarter.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Quarter.
Yes, Quarter has provided some music here for Nása's just recent album. So
are we just shouting out all Sticky? Hey, shout out to Emily Sankofa too. Straight up. Shout out to Tyler. You know what I'm saying? Tyler, you know what I'm saying? He out here doing this thing. Shout out to High Down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody shout out to Walker, Tyrone Pearsall, everybody doing music, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm ready to wet all of them now.
Hey.
I'm wet.
All right, guys. So once again, thank you for Tyrone for joining me. Also thank Nása for once again coming back onto the scene with us. We appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate you listening to this episode. Be blessed. Be safe. God is love. Peace.
One.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our pod and check out previous episodes as well. Go ahead and follow the Chaotic Culture Podcast page on Facebook and follow at Chaotic Culture Pod on Instagram. Also, be sure to follow our personal pages. You can follow Law on Instagram at L.JR_96 and myself, K3D the Pro, on Instagram and Twitter. Please also do us the courtesy and follow our featured artists and guests listed in the episode description. If you like this beat, follow at the RJ Stackhouse on Instagram and his Twitter page at RJ Stackhouse for more music and music-related content. I hope today's episode blessed your souls and stimulated your mind. Until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, survive the chaos. This has been Ked the Pro with Chaotic Culture Podcast. Be blessed, be safe. God is love. Peace.